Hello, sports fanatics! My name is Kylie Wang, and this is your weekly update on your friends over at GhostPicks. This week, Jack was our team member of the week. He was 6-1 in the top tier. Way to go, Jack! Chase was 18-10 in the premiums. Jimmy was 5-2 in free plays. There's lots of good stuff from our guys at GhostPicks. You can find all of their packages in the description of this video. We're going to talk about a couple of different things this week, like what is going on with Hugh Jackson, the head coach of the Cleveland Browns. And now that college football is upon us, I'm going to give you the inside scoop on some of the biggest games of opening weekend. So what exactly is going on down in Cleveland? We know every year the Browns try to improve their win total of, 0, and every year they ruin yet another first-round pick. But this year, dare I say it, this year things might be different. Might. Baker Mayfield does look like he could be the real deal, but that remains to be seen. He's looked pretty good in the preseason, but the Browns just have to hope he has reliable receivers to throw to. They cut Corey Coleman, their former first-round pick, earlier in training camp and sent him to Buffalo.
You don't want to play, I want y'all to just trade me.
Jarvis Landry is probably the most solid player on the Browns roster after they acquired him for the Miami Dolphins, and Josh Gordon has only recently returned to camp. Now, you might remember that Gordon has not played a snap in ages. He was suspended for a total of 56 career games, 55 of which were for positive drug and alcohol tests.
I've used alcohol many occasions. Xanax, many occasions. Cocaine, several occasions. I want to get the opportunity to get my life back.
Of the few games Gordon has actually played in, he's been fantastic, racking up 3,089 yards off of 179 receptions and 15 touchdowns. The Browns will thoroughly enjoy having their former star receiver back on the field if he can stay sober and healthy. The other wild card is Antonio Callaway, who has been shaping up very nicely if he can stay out of trouble. If you've seen Hard Knocks, you know Callaway had a brief run-in with the police who cited him for possession of marijuana. As punishment, head coach Hugh Jackson forced Callaway to play every single snap in the offense of week 2 of the preseason, which doesn't seem like a very intuitive punishment, but, well, that's Hugh Jackson for you. Let's talk about Hugh. Hugh's been through a lot these last few weeks. In the space of 2 weeks, he's lost both his mother and his brother. Obviously, we feel for Coach Jackson, and we don't want to say anything to further increase his suffering, but putting personal matters aside, I do think that his coaching style leaves a lot to be desired. If you want to form your own opinion, go ahead and watch Hard Knocks. It airs on HBO. He seems to be more concerned about his image as a coach than the image of the team that he leads. He drew a lot of criticism for putting the injured Tyrod Taylor back in the game in week 3 and for refusing to give Baker Mayfield even a single rep with the first-team starters. Jackson is planning to start Taylor, but by trying to avoid a quarterback controversy, he's only alienated Mayfield from the players he will eventually be surrounded by. It's no secret that Mayfield will at some point be the starter. But since Jackson seems married to the idea of starting Tyrod, it doesn't seem to make much sense to allow him back in the game after he suffered an injury that actually had him back in the locker room. It was his wrist on his non-throwing hand. The Browns have a fairly tough schedule ahead, but I predict they'll come out with at least a couple of wins because they have a better roster this year, but that would more than double their win total in the Hugh Jackson era. In other news, college football is only 5 days away, and if you're looking to make some bets, I have the inside scoop on some of those key matchups. Jack is going to tell you all about OSU and Oregon State, but besides them, we also have my Miami Hurricanes pitched in a no-man's land battle versus the LSU Tigers in Arlington, Texas. That airs on September 2nd at 7:30 p.m., and that game will be decided by the defense, as both teams have rather lackluster offenses. I give Miami the upside in this matchup, if only because the prolific Hurricanes defense should have cause to pull out the turnover chain a couple of times, and LSU's offense is really quite horrendous. Malik Rozier is once again starting for the Hurricanes at quarterback, and while he's nothing to write home about, he should have a solid running back in Travis Homer, plus his own 2 legs to march the offense down the field. One of the more exciting matchups this week has Michigan traveling to South Bend to take on the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Jim Harbaugh has the best talent at quarterback he's ever had with Michigan in Shea Patterson, who's a transfer. He's going to be debuting on Saturday night, but I find it hard to believe that they can punch one out over a hard-hitting Notre Dame defense at home. Florida International is taking on Indiana at home in Florida on Saturday night, and I'd say FIU has the advantage against an Indiana program that hasn't managed to do much since Kevin Wilson resigned. Though FIU has never been a contender for much of anything, they appear to be on the rise under their brand new, shiny head coach, Butch Davis, who led them to an 8-5 record in his debut season last year. Besides leading the Cleveland Browns to their last playoff appearance in 2002, Davis has also coached for Miami and UNC Chapel Hill, amassing an 87-48 record. That's all I have for you guys today. Be sure to check back for more updates, like and subscribe, and remember, go GhostPicks, packages in the description. I'm out.